Good afternoon, everyone. Treasure Troller here from the partially mask-wearing militant state of Michigan. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, of course, we're going to talk about Alone. And going to go on a couple of different angles with what I saw in this from this episode. One may surprise you and one may not, but I still think it's going to be a pretty good vlog. But before I get into that, I know I posted something earlier today with the gas price thing. Today is just, tonight at work is going to be a suck night. I got back home and I watched the Charter on demand. I watched the episode, and then I had to go down and get my truck out of from the repair shop, and I got that back, and I thought, well, I'm not gonna. It's just I had to. I decided to mow instead of doing the drywall because it was already after 9 o'clock, and so by the time I got to bed, it may have been about noon, and I've gotten maybe about 3 hours of sleep today, so it's like 6:15, and headed to work. Going to be a long day, which probably means tomorrow's going to be a do-nothing day, unfortunately. I'll probably be sleeping all day. So enough about my sorry, pitiful life. Let's talk about someone else's sorry, pitiful life. Not much to really say about this episode except, well, Jacques. So thanks Jacques, for ruining my orphan factor. You know, if you watch the I've seen the other ones, I've said I've always just want orphans on the show, and with no ties, so they wouldn't get homesick. And this is as close to an orphan as they probably came to. A very young kid with a girlfriend and a dog. So I gave him the orphan factor to win Alone, and he's the first one to tap out. Now I have to give him credit for the hair dye though, and making flies with the hair. I've got to give him that. Of course, I don't know if they knew ahead of time just how much game was going to be available, but there's the fur on those squirrels. I mean I've examined many rabbit and squirrel roadkills for fly tying material, so I wouldn't be too concerned about my hair dyeing it, what little I have, but it was creative. I have to give them that. So we get the typical introductions for about the first 45 minutes, and then the last 45 minutes we have to listen to Jacques about missing his girlfriend and his dog that farts, and then his issues with killing for survival. What I was really hoping for was after he had tapped out, when he goes, he's waiting for the rescue crew, and he goes, oh, I hope they've got something on there to eat. I really wish they would have brought him a Royale with cheese. So after all this trepidation about eating animal flesh, we could have watched him bite into a Royale with cheese. and go, you little hypocritical MFer. The other thing I noticed was him putting on his parka of shame. He never wore that parka in any segment that we saw until they were coming to get him, and then he threw the parka of shame on so he could hide his face under the hoodie and the fur. So, actually, I was going to refer to him as Jacques Kaepernick because of his issues with the fishing and the killing of the small game. I mean, I knew he was going to tap out when he was deciding whether or not to take the shot at the grouse in the tree, because, well, he would have to go look for the arrow. And if you miss that shot, well, you're not going to find the arrow. You could spend days looking for that arrow. So, to me, him taking that shot was pretty much him saying he was tapping out. And, of course, it was, the homesick thing. And I'd already seen someone comment about, before I'd even... I'd seen it. I'd watched the show, I'd watched the replay, did all the stuff, and I came back and I was on my way to bed and I saw the comment about he's getting tired of people tapping out for being homesick. So, I had a solution to that, and I had the solution to winning alone. And now I'm not sure that matters anymore. But here's the first thing. There's a certain period of time that they know ahead of time that they've been selected for the show, because they try to put on 30 or 40 pounds of additional weight. What I was going to say was, I really think I would take my family. Now, a lot of these, I guess one thing is a bunch of broke bastards, but maybe you could do it on a contingent fee as well. But I would go to family counseling. I would take my family to a counselor for maybe 4 to 6 sessions and really talk through this show, what you're going to be going through, and about how to get over this ridiculous homesick stuff. It may cost you maybe $400 to $600, depending on the number of sessions. But if it really does come down to, if the mental game is that, in a lot of them, it is at least one. You got the food, and you've got, I guess, unforeseen accidents in the producers or the directors, whoever, the crew, being able to pull you. But the mental thing, maybe spend some time with a counselor on how to get some of this stuff resolved before you go on the show. I think that would be worth spending the money on. But I'm not sure that matters anymore. I'm going to go out on a slight limb right now. And I hate to say this, and I really, in some ways, I hope I'm wrong. But I think this is the last season of Alone. And I think it's, you can call it cognitive dissonance. or just the reality of the show. When Jacques Kaepernick took the knee for the killing of animals, I think that's possibly has just done the show in. Now, I'm sure there were animal rights groups that have always been on them. The usual suspects have always sort of put up a protest. So either Jacques was a plant, and they better, discredit the plant real quick if they want to keep the show going. But if Jacques Kaepernick was not a plant, they have, the show has, the producers have full editorial control. And they spent 45 minutes really talking, or letting film roll on this guy talking about killing these animals. Because quite honestly, what alone does come down to, and this is someone that watches the show, somebody from the the animal rights side of things may have always been saying this, and I would have poo-pooed it. But quite honestly, what this show right now comes down to is who can kill the most animals. That's what it comes down to. And once the contestants start saying, I'm not sure I want to kill animals anymore, that's when you've lost the show. So, Jacques Kaepernick, in my humble opinion, has closed out alone. I don't see any way, I don't see how you can come back from it when your contestants are talking about it. Now, if they do an exit interview with him, I know they were supposed to do a couple of shows. They didn't have the tap out interview with him, and maybe, I know there was 2 shows. They were going to talk about shelter, and they were going to talk about what leads up to the tap out. Now, I don't know if they did that if that was part of the end of the show tonight, or from last night's show. But it would be, I'm wondering if anyone from Alone is going to bring that up. I think that was sort of the wizard behind the curtain truth about this show, or reality about this show, that sort of people knew, but no one really talked about it. And now a contestant has brought that to the forefront. I mean, I remember before that crazy vegetarian chick that, threw the salmon back because, well, she already had one. She didn't need any more. And then when everything froze over, well, then she tapped out. So before, throwing something back seemed like a waste. But this one is, well, if you really can't kill animals for survival, then when can you? Like I said, I really wish they would have given him a Royale with cheese and watch him bite into that. So there you go. I think if the show stays on the air, I would go to family counseling, talk about this homesick thing. I'm still waiting for the wife to say, if you tap out because you're homesick, I'm filing for divorce. I want to see that happen. But Jacques Kaepernick just might have put a dagger through the heart of this show. Or at least the producers went along with it, because they certainly didn't have to to put 45 minutes of that talk on the air. They could have filmed other things. So, with that, this is Treasure Troller saying aloha and good day.